This is James Hebbard, founder of the Performance Equation. You know, I've worked with many corporates, I've worked with many people or individuals in the corporate context, and a lot of people have asked me the question, you know, I've achieved all these levels of success in my life, or other people think I'm successful, but I just don't feel it. I just don't feel like I'm successful. You see, when it comes to success, there is a very important differentiation between achievement and fulfillment. And basically, when it comes to success and achieving things, I'd say it's about both of them. It's firstly about achieving certain things. You cannot feel successful unless you have achieved certain things. But it's also about feeling like I've achieved something. It's also about feeling like I'm successful in the sense of I have that level of fulfillment. Because too many people nowadays have achieved great things in business, but don't feel they have a successful life. Why? We'll get into that in a short while. You need to have those two things, fulfillment and achievement, otherwise it's not really success. So, I've created what I call the success equation. I, as a child, loved algebra, so I always do these kind of crazy things. But I think it just shows how interrelated all these aspects are in this equation. The first thing that we need to do if you want to be successful is make that decision. If you don't make a decision about what you want to achieve, or make a decision that you're going to go for it 100%, well, then you're not going to get anywhere. Most people sort of say, yeah, you know, but I procrastinate, or I'm not very decisive, or anything like that. And that simply isn't true. There's a few other things. But one of the things is they make too many decisions. For example, if you are maybe not in the greatest shape, you're a little bit unhealthy, or not feeling so great about your body, and you want to be looking like one of those models, like one of those bodybuilders, or whatever the case may be, the first thing people do is they say, okay, I'm going to go on that eating program. So they make the decision, isn't it? But then straight after that they make a second decision, which negates the first. What is the second decision? I'll go on that eating program, but I'll start it on Monday. You know, I'm going to go after that new job, but I first need to go and study this course, or study this, or whatever. They're constantly making a decision which gets them there, then takes them straight back to where they are. So literally, you've got to do what Henry Ford says is, be quick about making a decision, be slow about changing it. Because really that's what you're doing when you get into this negative cycle. You just stay at the same place. So to be decisive is the first thing. Now, decisiveness is not the only thing. You need to have a disciplined focus. Now, what does that mean, disciplined focus? You know, in the army they make you do 50 push-ups if you don't do something quick enough, or if you look at another officer in a certain funny manner, or whatever, I don't know. But that's not discipline, that's punishment. You see, too many people equate the word discipline with punishment, and it's not true. Discipline is the ability to focus, is that ability to get your mind focused on one thing. Nowadays, people are distracted by everything. You get a television set and you've got 100 channels, and you'll see no one watches one movie all the way through. They're flipping through, going through all the 100 channels. If you have a look and have a discussion with someone, it's very seldom that you'll have a friend focus on your discussion or your conversation for longer than 5 minutes at a time. Why? Well, he's always checking his iPhone or his BlackBerry. We are living in a world where there is so many distractions. Now, if you just take a book, take two books, hold one in front of your face and hold one off to the side like this, and try read the second one while you're looking at this one. You can't do it. You see, if you want to read, if you want to focus, if you want to get through this book, you have to focus on this and you have to read. What happens when you look at this one? You've lost focus here. See, so many people think, oh, you know what, I can multitask, I can do 50 things at once. And it simply is not going to lead you to the high levels of success at the end of the day. So, discipline, focus, that ability to focus on one aspect, hugely important. The next thing is influence. Can I influence other people? Can I influence people and get them mobilized and get them moving in a direction? You know, when it comes to leadership, I've spoken with so many different leaders in corporations, and they tell me all their strategies that they have and all their techniques, and basically it boils down to manipulation. Manipulation of rewards versus punishment. That's how I get people to do things in my company. And that's not leadership. That's using positional power. What is leadership? Leadership is about influencing people, getting people to come with you because they want to come with you. Do this if there's a person standing next to you, or go find someone and do this with them. Ask them to put their hand up. And as they put up their hand, you put your hand up, and put them together and start to push. What will you start to find? At some point they resist. and maybe even push back a little bit. And the more force you put, what do? The harder they push back. You see, what's happening is, and this is inbuilt into every single human being, most people are using their positional power to influence them. But what's really happening? You just get the pushback. You not do the same thing. Get a person to put up his hand, grab his hand and say, hey, come with me, I want to show you something. Immediately they're curious. Immediately they want to come with you. You see, now you've influenced them. You haven't got into that arm wrestle. Can you influence people? Because nothing really great has been done in isolation or by one person. The last one that I want to talk about above this line is consistent action. Now, action is the one thing that most of the time is missing out of this whole equation. And as you will see, all of these are multiplication signs. So if even one of them is low or zero, it's going to make this whole equation equal zero. So what do I mean by consistent action? You see, people are always, this is the thing that trips them up. They say, oh, I've made that decision. Yes, I can be disciplined when I'm focused on certain things. And influence, yes, I get people excited with this brilliant idea that I have and all the rest of it. And really, other people get excited and they say, okay, we'll help you, we'll do this. But where do they fall short? Taking the step. Making it, or setting the trademark. Opening the website. Doing that next step. You see, they want to have the whole plan to achieving this success or this goal that they have. You need to focus on the next step. That's your next step. Once you've achieved that step, the next step will become clearer to you. And what is? Then the guy says to me, yeah, but James, but then what if I don't know what's the next step? Well, hello. Your next step then is to find out what the next step is. That means you have to go and do some research, or you have to get a mentor, someone that's done it before. You need to go get a coach to help you find the next step. There's always a next step. But you need to first take the step. And the more you take steps, the more momentum you build. You cannot build momentum unless you are moving in a direction. Then you build up that momentum. So again, that's all those things. But there's a very critical aspect that leads to fulfillment. There's a critical aspect. In other words, something that all of these is going to be evaluated against. And that's either going to make you feel very successful or not. And what is that? Well, that's purpose. Is this that you are going for, is all of this in alignment with your purpose? Is it in alignment, let's even go a step further, is it in alignment with your values, your belief system? Because so many people, I want to be rich, but they have a belief in their value system. And it's maybe not theirs, but it's been handed down through their culture, or it's been influenced on them by their parents or whatever. But they have this belief money is bad, or too much money is bad. They achieve a hell of a lot. They achieve the situation where they're millionaires, but they don't feel good about it. So that level of fulfillment isn't there. Why? Because it's not in alignment with their value system. So you've got to constantly do it, because if you don't do this consciously, your subconscious is going to do this on a regular basis. It's going to keep asking this question, is this decision in alignment with my purpose, with my value system? Is this, do I want to do this? Can I go and influence other people if I don't believe in it, that it's right or wrong? Can I go and take action steps if it's there? You're always going to be fighting yourself, and this is where most people fall short. So they achieve a lot, but when you divide it by their purpose or their mission, it doesn't work. So the more in alignment you get this with your purpose, or with your reason why, or with your value system, the more successful you're going to feel when you achieve that. I know this not only by studying a lot of people or successful people, I know this also through personal experience. So when you look at success, don't look at it as most people, oh well, if you do this or you work hard, you're going to be successful or that. And most people buy into those kind of things. Have a look at it in a more holistic way. Have a look at all these different aspects, because they're so interrelated. If even one of them is at a zero, it's going to equal zero there. Or it's going to take it down dramatically. Ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10 in each of these areas, where am I? Where is this that I'm trying to get my people, or trying to focus on, or this level of success? Where is it on a scale of 1 to 10? And then evaluate that against your values, against your purpose. And you will tend to find that sense of, that second part of success, that sense of fulfillment. So this is James Hebbard. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this has been helpful to you and to your success. Use this as much as you possibly can. Thank you.